Lovelies, my name is Jessica and welcome to Makeup Misfit. And I have an update for Are You Afraid of the Pan? But I'm gonna mention this because I'm getting very distracted. The lighting, I think that's coming through the window is like looking super weird right now. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but I can, and it's kind of distracting me a lot. So if I do seem a little off here and there, it's all because of the lighting and I'm being a little bit thrown off and distracted by it. So I'm gonna try my best not to be, but I apologize if it happens at some point over the next few minutes. So with that out of the way, everything about this project down in the description box. Go check it out if you are curious, but I am ready to get into this update, so let's go for it. So quite a few months ago, I rolled in the prompt Doug, which was a awkward packaging product, and I went with my MAC and Jeremy Scott face palette. It's round, it's awkward to store. Now the product that I chose out of here was the blush, and my goal is to hit pan in this. I still have yet to do so, and at this rate, I feel like it's gonna take a very long time to do that. You can see there's a little, not a little, it shows a little bit of usage along the side of the pan there, but I have been using this every single day. I pair it with other blushes. I wear this, I make sure I get good use out of it. But at this rate, I feel like I'm not gonna hit pan anytime soon. This is also a blush that I really wanted to hit that goal on before I started my Pan That Face palette for 23. My 22 palette, I started in November of last year, so I was really hoping to get a bit of a head start this year as well. That's not gonna really happen. I'm not gonna get a chance to hit pan in this before December 17th. So what I've decided is whether I hit pan in this or not, by the next update, I'm going to start my Pan That Face palette on January 17th. So if you're curious about the palette, if you're curious about that project, keep an eye out for it. The reason why this was one of the blushes I wanted to hit my goal on before I started that project is because I really thought at the time that having the blushes in my project was going to hinder me from using the palette or vice versa. But I really think that I can pair this with the blushes that are in that face palette, and it's going to just help me get use on both products. I don't necessarily think it's going to hinder me as much as I did a couple months ago. I feel like I could probably make them both work together. As that's what I've been doing with most of my products for quite a while now, so I will always be able to find a way to make it work. So I'm actually kind of excited to pair this with that palette, but again, I think I'm just going to wait until January to start my Pan That Face palette instead of December. So this is where we're sitting at, and as long as I have pan in here by the end of this project, which is in April, then I will just be very, very happy. If it's before then, I will be ecstatic about it, but I'm not holding my breath for it. As long as I've hit pan by the end of April, then I am good. I would love to have this palette completely finished by the end of 23, so you may see this in future projects once I hit my goal. We'll have to see. This is gonna be a focus for sure, but that being said, it's gonna be in here for a while, so I hope you're getting used to seeing it because it's not going away anytime soon. So another prompt that I had rolled in was Rocko's Modern Life, which is a difficult to pan product. So since that blush isn't difficult enough, I decided that throwing a lipstick into this group would be a fun idea. So I chose my MAC lipstick in the shade Faux. Now this is a neutral shade that I really enjoy wearing. It's something that I can and have been trying to wear every single day. This is where I'm sitting at. So I really do think that there's not a whole lot of progress from the last update. I have been trying to wear it daily. It's a shade that I can do that. So as long as I keep it with me at work, in my purse, try to reapply when I can, keep doing what I'm doing, I feel like I'll be able to finish this off by the end of the project as well. And again, same thing. If I finish it before then, I will be over the moon about it, but I will be very happy to have this out of my collection by the end of this project. This is a shade that I do feel like I would like to repurchase in the future. This one along with the shade Angel from MAC. I do want to work through my lipsticks as well, maybe do a little declutter, just kind of figure out what I actually want, what I like, what I don't like anymore. But this I feel after I use it up completely will be something that I eventually repurchase in the future, because I do enjoy using it, and I like that it's just such an everyday shade for me that I can wear this and not feel too uncomfortable with it. I do like this. So this will be sticking around for a little bit longer as well, but I'm more than okay with that. So the last update, things got a little fun. So I rolled in Real Monsters, which is a product that used to scare you. So I rolled in my Benefit Kabrow, and I realized, whoa, I don't know if you can see that right now, but there's like streaks coming off of this. It's got to be the lighting. That is so cool. It's so weird, but it's so cool at the same time. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting so distracted. But I'm going to try to ignore that and just focus on finishing off this video. This kabrow, I realized I had thrown into this project previously. I don't know if it was the intro or the first update, but I had this in for the prompt, figure it out, which was a product that you had to figure out how to make work for you. And as I mentioned, each and every time I pull this into a project, I always have to try and refigure out how to use it. So in that sense, it was always something that used to scare me as well, because it's just not a product that I ever reach for. I've never used a pomade. I just use the pencils, which I prefer so much more, or the gel, the Gimme Brow. I really enjoy that. These kind of products, I'm not a fan of. So my goal was just to use it 10 times. And I was super excited because on the 6th use, I actually hit the bottom of this jar, and I was so happy about it because I knew I was so close. That's also part of why I pulled it into the project, because I really wanted to hit the bottom of this, even though that was not the goal. I did continue to use it the last 4 times to reach those 10 uses. I did reach for it after that as well, just because I really don't have much for brow products right now. So I was continuing to use this, and it is really dry. So at one point I had accidentally gotten a little bit of setting spray in here, and when I went to go use it, that's when I realized, because it was a little more damp, but I found it really kind of helped work the product so it wasn't so stiff and so dry. So I kind of threw a little bit of setting spray in here a couple of times, but one day, I don't even know what had happened, but half of this product decided to just jump out and disappear. So this is what's left in here, but because of how dry this is, because of how much work it takes, and I'm not going to throw setting spray into this each and every time I want to use it, I am going to get rid of this. I'm not a big fan of it, and I mean, I liked it when I was wearing it, but just trying to figure out how to use it, figuring out what works for me, trying to get it, it's too much work for the fact that I don't really do my brows. Like, I haven't done my brows in the last few days. I really could care less. I've never been a big brow person as is. So this is just too much work for how much effort I like to put into them. Like I said, a pencil or the Gimme Brow Gel is more than enough for me, and I prefer that. I will use eyeshadow, as I've been doing that before I rolled this bad boy back in. And I'll just stick with doing that. So this is leaving my project, but it is also leaving my collection, which is really exciting because that just makes room for a couple of other products to come on in. So with that being said, I get to roll another product in. Now, I did the math just before I started rolling, or just before I started filming. Now, I counted all of the prompts that I've already had in this project, or I currently have, and that's a total of 14 prompts, which means that leaves me with 9 prompts left over to choose from. So what I'm going to do is just randomize 1 through 9, and then I'm going to count through the prompts and skip over the ones that I've already done, and whichever the 9th prompt is what I'm going to work on. So I feel like it might be a little bit easier than randomizing 1 through 23 and continue to randomize when I land on something that I've already worked on. So we're going to change this. So it's 1, nope, that's not the right number. 1 through 23, I had 33 in there and it decided to roll. So we're going to clear history. 1 through 23 is in there, and nope, I'm not doing 23, I'm doing 9. What am I talking about? Okay, 1 through 9 is in there, and number 8. So let me see. Okay, 1. This might take a little bit longer than I thought. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to figure out what the prompt is, and then I will be right back. Okay, So I found the prompt that I'm going to be working on. My number 8 corresponds with number 16. That is the number that I rolled, right? 8? Yes. Number 8 corresponds with number 16, which is Adventures of Pete and Pete. So a product that comes as a full size and a mini. So let me go take a peek at my collection, see what I can find that I can work on, and I will be right back with something. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about what I chose. I did choose 2 things, but I will show you what they are first. What I'm going to focus on first is just kind of to get it on my collection. It's just a sample. It's a card, actually. It's the shade Shelly. It's a new shade from the Benefit blush line, which I love the Benefit blushes, and this is a shade that I really wanted. And then when I placed a Sephora order and saw that this was a sample that you could get, I jumped on it because I really wanted to test out this shade. So my goal is just gonna be, that came out totally weird. My goal is going to be to finish off this little blush card. There really isn't a whole lot in here, so it's not gonna take me long. But I really want to actually get use on this, figure out if I like it, and then I think with the Sephora sale, probably in the springtime, I will probably purchase a couple more blushes depending on where my collection is sitting at the time. We'll have to see, but I'm really excited about getting some use on this because I really do like the shade of this in person. I've used it once. I did like it, but I think I had my MAC and Jeremy Scott blush on the brush, so I want to get a feel for what this is actually like without another color mixed into it. So I'm really excited to get use on this and figure out if it's something that I want to purchase in the future, which more than likely I will own this at some point. So I didn't want to just throw this in because I figured it was kind of like too much of a cheap product. So I decided I'm rolling in another shade from my Becca Eyelights palette. So this is an eyeshadow palette, but it's all of their highlight shades. I think a couple shades in here, I'm not sure if they ever actually had as highlighters. They may have, and I just wasn't quite aware. So the shade I want to work on is Rose Quartz. Now, I know they had minis. I had a mini of Rose Quartz. I don't remember if Rose Quartz ever came as a full size, but I did own the mini of it. If it doesn't come as a full size, then I'm just pulling it into this project as Becca had full size and mini highlighters. So that's how I'm going to make it work, and I'm just choosing the shade. So I'm going to go with Rose Quartz, and I'm more than likely going to use it as a highlighter. That is how I used Opal, which was in Pan Those Eyeshadows, and that is how I used Moonstone, which I think was in Paranormal Pantivity. So I'm really excited to get a lot more use on this palette. My goal is going to be to hit pan on here, and I'm really excited to see a lot more love on this palette, get some use on it, and get this worked on. This may be a focus for 23, as I mentioned in one of those last videos. I think it was probably Paranormal Pantivity. This is going to be rolled into a few projects, I'm sure, to get more use on it. I would love to have this knocked out of my collection, completely used up by the end of 23, or as close as possible. So this you may see in the future as well, but for now it's going to be in here. My goal is to hit pan on Rose Quartz, and I'm really excited about it. But I want to focus on getting this one out first. So, I mean, I could definitely wear them around like at the same time because it's going to take me a lot longer to hit pan on Rose Quartz than it is going to be to finish up Shelly here. But I'll get this out first before I hit pan on there. That's my goal. So I'm really excited about what I rolled in for this project, or for this prompt, I mean. And I can't believe that April sounds so far away, but the fact that I only had 9 prompts left and now I'm down to 8 and I've got a few more months, I'm really excited that hopefully I can finish all of these prompts by the finale, as long as these 2 cooperate with me and I can hit pan on them and hit my goal of finishing this off by the end of this project as well. Then I will be completely happy. But it is what it is. I'm happy I'm getting use on what's in my collection, on what's in this project. And that is everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you all later. Bye.